Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forrest. Grab yourself a glass of water or a cup of tea and spend the next few minutes with me. And like I always tell you, don't believe everything you hear. Check your facts, do your own research. And as soon as the butterflies bring us on in, we'll get started. Don't you want to know what my butterflies are saying? I am a robot. Don't you want to know what my butterflies are talking? Yes, you do, because I got news that I didn't know, and now you're going to know, and guess what? We are both going to know about this news. So that is super duper cool. Can you tell I have too much fun? All right. Well, let's see. What is the first thing that I want to talk about? Well, we got all kinds of stuff here. So we got sailors in Japan that can't leave the base because they want to go out and act like a drunken fool. We have naval admirals pleading guilty, semantic security. We got all this stuff all over my desk. So what am I going to talk about first? We're going to talk about the Navy admiral that just pled guilty. This is a juicy, juicy story. So check this out. A naval admiral on a Thursday pleaded guilty to lying to federal authorities investigating a $34 million fraud scheme. You know, of course, I'm going to go on a huge rant in a few seconds, but let me finish this first. So it was involving a Malaysian contractor known as Fat Leonard. Now I wonder if Fat Leonard is related to Fat Joe. Remember the rapper Fat Joe and the... Anyway, Rear Admiral Robert Gilbo is the highest ranking military officer to be taken down in the wide-spanning scandal. And he's also believed to be the first active duty naval flag officer to be charged in federal court. Now, Gilbo declined to comment after the hearing, but prosecutors say that he lied about accepting gifts from Fat Leonard, and he faces anywhere from probation to several months in jail. Now, you know what I'm going to say? Of course, this story is incomplete, and I guess they can't take up the whole entire newspaper to talk about it, but I would like to know more details about the fraud and what they did. Now, of course, it's in Malaysia, and we're talking construction. Well, contractor and construction, I think those kind of go hand in hand, right? But it's got to be something to do with some building. He probably said, hey, look, I'll give you some Big Macs and some apple pies and charge me a little less than what you usually did, and it got into a whole bunch of garbage. But you know, the thing is, I don't understand why things can't just be done the right way. Come on, people. It's like we have a choice. I mean, seriously. Well, I guess some of us have a choice. Not everybody. But I'm not going to get into the politics and poor Bernie Sanders. But that's all I'm going to say about that, because we don't talk about politics on this show. But anyway, it's like we have a choice. We don't always have to choose the dark side. You know, good grief. So anyway, here we go again with millions of dollars. And right now, it's $34 million for fraud. So, did he pocket that money? Where is that money? And $34 million? And what does it say? He faces anywhere from probation to several months in jail. Did you hear me? It didn't say prison or years. For $34 million, he might get probation or several months in jail. So basically, he might not even go to jail for whatever the heck he did. See? Corruption, crazy madness. And moving on to, oh, wait a minute. Also, too, since this is in Malaysia, remember episode 11 with the baby and the goat face and all that stuff? And I don't think they ever found the father. This sounds like a case for Mulder, Scurry, and Maury Povich. Remember I said that. Okay, moving right along to some more crazy news. Since I'm talking about the military, we're going to keep on talking about the military. Now listen to this. This is a crazy story too. U.S. sailors in Japan can leave base, but alcohol ban stands. Now listen to this. The U.S. Navy, the Navy again, lifted some restrictions on off-base activity in Japan, but maintained a prohibition on alcohol consumption as the military tries to repair aggravated relations with a Japanese public outraged by recent where's my editor? I keep having this problem and my tongue is all twisted. But they're having problems with recent alleged crimes because our little Navy men are obviously getting sauced, going off base and acting a fool. So it says here that the U.S. Naval Forces Japan said in a statement that sailors are now allowed to leave the base when they're off duty. But the restrictions were imposed following a weekend where a sailor got arrested for drunken driving and then acting a fool. And then in a separate case, a Japanese police officer said that a U.S. military contractor was arrested on suspicion of abandoning the body of a young woman. Just remember, wasn't there something with the Kennedys where one of the Kennedys, didn't he get drunk and he drove into the river or something and he left the lady in the car to drown or something crazy like that? So this is my problem here. Okay, now it says here that the U.S. military in Okinawa issued an order later restricting celebrations and off-base drinking. Now, am I crazy? Because, now let me say this again. U.S. sailors in Japan can leave base, but the alcohol ban stands. Now, first of all, if you have your sailors over there and they're getting drunk and they're acting crazy when they go off base, the solution to the problem is, okay, now, don't you go off base and act drunk and act a fool and act stupid. You stay on base and drink and be a disgrace and act like a jackass. That's the solution, isn't it? That's what this article is basically saying. I mean, listen, I don't have a problem with people to drink, okay? But this is the deal. Like Judge Judy said, if you're not a good drinker, then you don't need to drink. You have to earn your right to do drugs and alcohol. And let me explain that for you uptight people that are automatically going to accuse me of advocating for people to do drugs, because that's not what I'm doing. All I'm saying is, if you do something every once in a blue moon, or if you do something in moderation and you're not making a spectacle of yourself, you're not losing your teeth, your skin doesn't look like you just jumped out of a coffin, you're not being disrespectful, you're not losing all your money. In other words, you're not on the sidewalk somewhere and you're ending up in rehab. Nobody really cares if you drink or do drugs. But when you take it to that level where you need rehab and you're just totally off the hook with it, then there's a problem. So you go and act a fool and get drunk off base. So now you can stay on base and act a fool and be drunk. It's just ridiculous. I mean, is it that bad over there that you have to drink that much to forget? I mean, come on. And if you think about it, it's unprofessional, and it is no way to represent the United States of America. Okay? It's no way to represent. It's just tacky. So moving right along, this is a really cool article here. Now listen to this. Have you ever wondered about the flag, the D-Day flag that's on the U.S. boat? Probably not, because we take so many things for granted. But listen to this. The U.S. flag flown on the stern of the boat that led the first American troops onto Utah Beach on D-Day, and just sold at a Texas auction. Guess how much it sold for? $514,000. It sold for over $500,000. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And on June 6, 1944, of course, that was D-Day, and that's when we landed on the beaches of Normandy in France, beginning the liberation of Western Europe, from the Nazis. So there's some serious history behind that. Now, it doesn't say here, it doesn't say who bought it. Doesn't say who sold it either. But actually, this is the Vanderbeck's family sold it, but it doesn't say who actually bought it. I'd like to know why they bought it and what they're going to do with it. But you have all these collectors out there. You have a lot of people on this planet that are millionaires that are wearing jeans and t-shirts because they're just private like that. But $514,000 is a lot of money. A lot of money. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, remember when I told you about the that train derailment in Oregon and the oil spilled, and then they were saying that there wasn't any harm to wildlife and all this stuff. I tell you one thing that's so frustrating to me, and I don't know, maybe it's just me and nobody else is picking up on this stuff, which I seriously doubt, but I just don't understand, what is it about when you open your mouth, the first instinct is for you to lie? People, I don't know, I don't want to be lied to. Tell me the truth and then let me make up my mind what I want to do with that truth. But don't just start out by telling me lies. Oh, the oil, we just spilled 15 million gallons of oil in the ocean, but, it's not going to do anything. Really? Well, let's see. You have whales that swim in the ocean. You have fish. You have octopus. You got crabs, lobsters, dolphins, sharks. You got all kinds of stuff that depend on the ocean water to live. They don't want to be swimming around in some Crisco oily water. So anyway, the derailment, the cause, now they're saying, was a broken bolt, and that was holding the rail in place. So once that broke, everything just went haywire. It's like when you have a stack of cards up and you move one card and then everything just goes kaput. So that's what happened there. And let's see, what else? Oh, listen to this. This story is absolutely crazy. So it says here that a snake scares a driver on the freeway. And she wasn't driving down the freeway, and there was a snake standing in the middle of the road with his thumb out saying, "Hey lady, give me a ride." No, listen to this story. Check this out. Listen to this story. It says an Arkansas woman escaped injury and managed to safely stop her car after a 4-foot-long rat snake came out of her dashboard and slithered across her feet as she drove down Interstate 49. Oh my goodness. I'm not scared of snakes, so I sort of like, what is going on here? But can you imagine that? You know how many people are freaking terrified of snakes and roaches and rats and stuff? Oh my goodness, I cannot believe. But it says here, although rat snakes aren't venomous, and they aren't generally a threat to people, Kelly Swisher says that the snake actually felt rough and scaly, and it gave her a nails on the chalkboard feeling. And she says she doesn't remember if she kept her hands on the steering wheel during the incident, but she says that the snake actually slithered back into the dashboard. But then it made its way into the back seat, and then she pulled over and got out, called animal control officers, and they came and got the snake. But man, you know what? I tell you, when you're driving, that is the worst time for something to happen. I mean, it's not really that bad during the day, but at nighttime is the worst. So one last thing that I want to talk to you about is, Zika. Let me talk about Zika real quick. Because remember a couple of weeks ago, I was telling you about I think it was the Brazilian health minister when he was upset because of the Rio and, the Olympics and all that. And he was saying Zika is no threat. And I was like, are you crazy? Zika is no threat. It's never going to catch us. And what did I tell you? I said the wind blows, people. How many times have I said the wind blows? As long as the wind blows and we have windy days, everything on this planet is a threat. Because like I keep on saying, the wind is rude. It will pick you up and it'll move you. But wait a minute. The wind can also be polite. Because if you're walking with someone that you like, and a good strong wind comes along, you can just kind of maybe like bump up into that person and get a little closer. But anyway, so getting back to Zika. So now that Zika is no threat, guess where it is? It's in Florida. And guess what I saw on the news today? The real news that never lies to us. They're in Florida going door to door, educating people about Zika. And they're even getting as extreme as to get urine samples from some people. And you know what they had the nerve to say right before the broadcast went off? They had the nerve to say that Zika is no threat to the rest of the United States. Isn't Florida part of the United States? You know what? Listen, let me tell you something. You people that love blue pills and you like being lied to, and you don't want to know what's really going on, it's your choice. Go back to sleep. Count the little sheep that are jumping over your head and the pigs that are flying. But those of you that like red, you like red pills, red butterflies, y'all need to wake up, okay? You need to wake up. Now, I'm not saying go crazy. I'm just saying wake up and realize what the world that you're living in, okay? And one last thing, there's a movie out right now called I think it's called Nerve, and it's about an online reality video game. I think it's a Truth or Dare or something like that, and you get sucked into the game, and it's with real money and all that, kind of like World of Warcraft, where you play raids and your real-time ID and all that kind of stuff. So I haven't seen it yet. I want to, because I like those kinds of crazy movies. So I'm going to go check it out. But, there's a lot of truth in these movies. There's 1% of truth in every lie, people. I'm telling you the truth. And, these movies, they're sending you all kinds of hidden messages, okay? I mean, remember Nightmares with Emilio Estevez back in the 80s, and him and I think it was Lance Hendrickson. Remember, he was playing that one video game, and I think it was the Bishop, and he had to get to level 7, and nobody ever made it to level 7 or lived to tell about it, or maybe it was level 12, I'm not sure. But what happened when he finally beat the game? What did he do? He started jumping up, talking about, I beat you. Yeah, I beat you. And then he was trying to run out of the garage. That big old mouth came and swallowed him up. And what happened? He was in the game. Remember the Running Man? Yeah. Those guys, they kept sending videos every couple of months or so, looking like they were kicking back in Hawaii, drinking mendrulips and rum and cokes and everything. Meanwhile, they had been dead for years. So, that's all I have to say about that. And let me see, do I have something beautiful to show you? Yes, I do. This picture, I love. I got this out of California Traveler, and it says, clouds usually prevent visitors from seeing Denali, which from the valley floor to the peak is taller than Mount Everest and is 20,000 308 feet above sea level. I wonder what is alive up there. Anything? And I wonder what the air is like up there. This is unbelievable. But this picture is like a four-dimensional. I mean, you can see the mountains down low, the mountains in the middle, the mountains behind, and then the mountains way in back with all the snow. So if you can see that, check it out. I think that's pretty. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending your precious time with me. I really appreciate it. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You go to my book. I'm going to have to fire my editor. Go to my website, buy my dang book, Angels Passing Through. And on that note, I am so very grateful for everything. And I am grateful for you too. So we're going to get out of here with my favorite tune, One Love, because it's all about one love, people. Like Bob Marley said, one love, one life. Let's get together and be as one. Goodness gracious. So anyway, thanks for watching. Find out what's in Pelenta's Forrest. And I will see you next time. God bless you all. Bye.